So, a few days ago, I posted this video that I'm sure that you haven't seen, but ostensibly it was about the way that we treat each other right now in this very divisive culture, these very polarized times that we live in. It was an exhortation, let's say, for us to treat each other better. And it was decidedly neutral. I did not infuse any of the politics or positions that I am particularly passionate about into it. It was more a call to both sides to be better, to do better, to treat each other better, to treat each other like humans rather than as subhuman, which I think the tendency for humans to do is uh, to regard people who disagree with them, who don't have the same opinions, or who are on the opposing side as less than human. Um, but I don't believe that that is the hallmark of one side, particularly not a political side or the other. I think that there are people on either side of the political spectrum who and um, comport themselves in this way, who approach their disagreements with the opponent from that perspective. I did post it on social media, and one of the few comments that I got even fewer comments than views, but one of the few comments that I got was from somebody who started talking about liberal filth, was the term that he used. And I'm not trying to get hung up on the ideology or again pick a side or talk at this point anyway about what my side on any issue is. My point is to say that there are people who are um, on either side of issues and have such an ingrained hate towards the other side that they could view an effectively neutral video calling for us to treat each other better through that prism, and their reaction is to say, we're going to war, the liberal filth needs to be ready. I'm paraphrasing, but it's pretty much the gist of what the comment was. And I think that the that got me started or that got me thinking about hate a lot, and not again in any kind of partisan way, but as a general emotion that we as humans allow ourselves to succumb to be held sway by. And hate is, I think, particularly insidious because it is what I would call a bedrock emotion, a foundational emotion. It is something that we build things on. We will base entire lives off of hate that we have either learned from uh, a young age or arrived at through experiences and whatever our reasons are. And then we start to stack on top of that. And so we can build so much on top of hate that we don't even recognize that it's there anymore. And I think that that's a conversation to have more in depth at another time about systemic racism and things like that. But for this particular video, I just wanted to stay focused there and say um, that there is nothing that hate doesn't touch. If you allow yourself to live in that, if you allow yourself to really um, identify with a hateful position, um, there's nothing in your life that isn't affected by that. And you can go on and do all kinds of, great things. And I'm not trying to downplay those or the value of that or the value of what you do to the people for whom you do it. But what I am saying is that the hate is still there, eating away at the foundation of what it is that you're trying to do, who you are, what you're building, what you say. And you can say things to people that wouldn't on the surface be hateful, but that still have a hateful context to it because of what you've allowed into your life. And that's what I'm really trying to get after, at least in these first videos that I'm putting out there, is this idea that we have that somehow we can be on a side that is so right that it justifies hating the people who are not. And that is a very dangerous thing to believe. And it also is false. It's not the truth. There is no side that you are on that allows you to hate without consequence. There is no side that you can be on. There is nothing that you believe that allows you, that will allow you to hate with impunity. And so if you decide to go to hate, you have to do that with your eyes wide open and not try to step back and moralize and justify why it is that it's okay to hate in this particular situation. And I don't think that most of us do that. I think most of us hate, I don't want to say accidentally, but I think, well, I think most of us hate casually. We get practiced at hating by just using the word for things that are not that important. And by the time we arrive at some of the things that are, it's a lot easier to slip out of our mouth or to get into our heart that we hate this or we hate that or we hate this person or we hate those people. And those are things that we all need to fight against. And I'm not anybody who's an expert, and I'm not anyone who you are likely to listen to. I'm not going to change the world with this video or any of my other videos, probably. But I am a person just like you who is taking a personal stance against that. There are things that I believe in passionately. There are positions that I hold very dear to my heart. There are things that make me extremely angry, things that are abhorrent and distasteful to me, and that I believe that should be abhorrent and distasteful to everybody. But the world isn't like that. So a lot of you guys have different opinions than me. And I'm sure that some of you believe things that I would just not be okay with. But I'm going to stop short of hate. I'm not going to go so far as to be so casual as to say, let's agree to disagree on certain issues, because there are certain issues where I'm not going to agree that it's okay for us to disagree here. But I'm also not going to take that step over the edge and take the plunge into hate, particularly not if you have a political difference with me. But I'm going to try to not go that far in the other areas of my life too. I challenge you to do the same. You can ignore me. You probably will. But you know what? I'm going to be here making another video soon. You can leave a hateful comment in my comment section if you'd like. I look forward to hearing your opinions, even if they maybe get my back up a little bit so that I can practice and learn how better not to let your barbs, your attacks, your anger, your hate take me into a place that I don't feel any particular need to go to. All right, that's it for today.